Well, hello, welcome everybody. First Google Hangout on air using the new YouTube launcher. Everything's a little different. Didn't work on right away, but first things first, let's start with the Constellation jingle logo. Here you go. Well, first things first, good for that. Welcome to my hotel room at an undisclosed location. And here to talk about the biggest technology merger that has happened in technology's history, which was the acquisition of Dell. Dell buying EMC. And we talked about this, it almost took a year, 11 months or something like this. We talked about it. I did a video with Ray originally when the news came out. Not surprisingly at the time, was long rumored in the market. Took a long time to get this approved because so many global areas where both companies have been doing business, and Dell had to wait for all these areas to give their blessing from the market competition authorities. So actually, it made the work to go through a couple of scenarios. Let me share those with you in famous, but the known one-slide updates. Interesting enough, this do what I want to do. Hopefully, you can still see this. Stop sharing. So, Dell Technologies is here, largest technology merger ever. Mentioned that now operating as Dell Technologies. Pardon the typo. Looking at three scenarios, and the first one is most favorable for Dell Technologies if nothing changes. Let's say everything freezes, the rate of people moving to the public cloud, the market share of the public cloud vendors remains the same. Nothing on that changes. I think if that for a moment makes Dell Technologies a very attractive partner for enterprises because it will have to invest into on-premises data centers. The combination of what Dell has done already around software-defined data centers, what they get from EMC and what they get from VMware, makes them definitely an interesting partner at the table with very few competitors who are still doing on-premises pieces. IBM comes to mind, but only with specialty and partner hardware. HP, of course, comes to mind, and Oracle comes to mind, apart from other smaller vendors like Lenovo and other in the areas of the dedicated hardware. I hope I've forgotten number, but if everything would stay like it is, nothing changes, Dell Technologies will definitely do well. But we all know nothing ever not changes, and the direction is not like people will move more things on premises, despite some of the conversations around this, but it's likely that more things will move to the public cloud. So it's just a question, how fast will things move to the public cloud? We'll start first with a scenario where things will be slowly moving to the public cloud. Didn't put some time frame here, but let's say in the next 10 years, we will only see as development what we see in the public cloud now. Roughly between 10 to 20% of the enterprise load will remain 10 years from now on premises. So exactly reversing this, making it linear. That means there's a lot of time for Dell Technologies to make some of the investments work. One of the things I'm bullish on Dell Technologies is that what Michael Dell keeps raising and repeating is that by going private, there's not the public eye and quarterly pressure on results every quarter, but Dell can do some investments, long-term investments, to become a more viable vendor, long-term vendor, taking advantage of developments like the public cloud. The problem is this has not been a stated direction apart from the general statement, but the specific Dell strategy, how to be relevant 10 years from now, when, like I said in the scenario, only 10-20% of enterprise load is still running on premises, the rest public cloud. That's not clear. What Dell needs to do is very clear from what we understand at the moment, that public clouds operate on cheap hardware. That's something Dell traditionally understands, but even much cheaper than what Dell typically does, operating that under custom self-built hardware and running that on a cheap Linux operating system. To carve a space out of that and piece out of that is going to be significant, but it's not impossible. So Dell Technologies may pull it off. If we go more radical and go more aggressive and think there's going to be a fast move to the cloud in the next 3 years, so everything will be there and we only remain 10-20% of enterprise load on premises being in the public cloud in 2020, let's put that as a time frame, I think that's going to be very hard for Dell Technologies to remain relevant. The converged hardware business, which basically EMC has been for storage purposes, is not doing well, has been commoditized by cheaper alternative storage mechanisms, Hadoop and cheaper hardware. So everywhere you look, not just in the AMC, converged hardware business is not doing well. With the one exception probably on the Oracle side, where there's been some encouraging piece if you check out my blog. But overall, that's a very hard business to be in. The bets that VMware has done, VMware was so uniquely positioned 3, 4, 5 years ago, understanding truly what is running in the enterprise data center, what has been virtualized. Basically, VMware squandered the chance to be the trusted advisor of a CIO, moving loads to the cloud step by step from low risk, higher gains to higher risk, general gain scenarios across the enterprise load. So I think if that happens, things are really, really far. It's going to be very hard. My realistic prediction is we're going to be middle of the road. Something like in 5 years, 6 years from now, I predict that we will see the current enterprise load that is on premises being the remaining one. Everything else have been moved to the public cloud. There's a fourth scenario to quickly speak about, which is that there's going to be continuous asset sale. And we just saw that, right? 1 week ago, Dell Technologies was started. Content management of Documentum, which EMC acquired before, was part of that. Now Documentum has been sold off to Canadian vendor. This is live. OpenText. My bad. So to Canadian vendor OpenText. And it's been gone. So maybe we'll see in a slow rate what's been happening in Palo Alto, HP, where Meg Whitman is selling things at really, really fast pace on a slow rate, which might finance some of the investment that Michael Dell wants to do for the long-term scenario. The problem with continuous asset sale for customers is, of course, you want to know what you buy from Dell or somebody else, and then you want to time your decisions because you want to know when you can make the better deal and the better acquisition. It's clear anybody buying any of these assets will do long-term maintenance for them because they're basically not buying them for the assets. Otherwise, I don't think Dell would sell them, but they're buying them for the customers. So to sum it up, over my point of view, I think Dell Technologies has a fighting chance for long-term relevance, but it's hard for them to probably make it. It's not clear what the long-term business is going to be, the business value proposition. Dell will have to come up with something new because the current one saying, yes, we want to fight for the software-defined data center is a valid one, but only if we keep market share similar to on-premises load as we know them right now. Not if things move to the public cloud, which also is software-defined, but not using any of the expensive technologies from any of the vendors there. So if you assume things will move to public cloud, Dell needs some way to make business with the public cloud infrastructure, which is not happening at the moment. We believe the exception of one of the Microsoft Azure clouds, which kind of like probably been a tit-for-tat deal with Dell at some point. Or a showcase maybe potentially, but if it would be a successful showcase, Microsoft would be outfitting more clouds with just Dell gear, we would hear more of that. But maybe it's going to come. So few bright spots today. The very bright spots I'm very positive in the Dell portfolio is obviously from a whole company perspective is Pivotal. Right now, the king of PaaS, not so much on the database side, different story, but on the platform as a service side, nobody can compete really at the moment with what Cloud Foundry and Pivotal have done. So very well there. There are some interesting things in putting SAP into the cloud, which VirtuStream, which was acquired by EMC. And there's some interesting plans around storage and going to other providers, the VirtuStream guys. But I think that might be probably too late, except for the SAP business. And SAP by itself is more aggressively signing up partnerships. We all know the IBM SAP partnership from fall last year, and Sapphire, the Azure partnership, and then last week, the AWS partnership around BW for HANA. So there will be other public cloud, and that's the competition to Dell infrastructures, which will run and host the modern, the latest newest SAP products. Why do I talk about SAP and Dell EMC on Dell Technologies podcast? Because SAP is the largest humongous or homogeneous piece of load which is out there, right, which enterprises run. And therefore, it's very interesting for any cloud provider to go after that. Bring back the camera here so you see something of my background tone here. And this is why there's this big competition around homogeneous SaaS vendor payloads around the public cloud vendors. And it will be important for Dell to snatch also some of this, maybe for making it run in your private data center. I mean, I expect for Dell to come out with something, run SAP, run Oracle, run maybe Infor, run maybe Workday, cheaper on premises on this software-defined set of storage, networking, servers, and probably also services. So if that comes out, will be slightly more positive, definitely from my side. But for now, I think there's forget any bright spots. Yes, the new things which VMware is doing around Photon and container infrastructure is definitely interesting. And I don't want to do wrong to some of the Dell technologies, but these are the ones which really stick out as a bright point. So hopefully that was useful. Some of my handicapping of depending how the future will go, how Dell Technologies will do. Look forward to your feedback. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it.